Welcome back to our Python exception handling series. So in the last video we introduced exception and we learned why handling them is important. Okay, so today we will take the next step and we will learn about how to use try and except to prevent errors from crashing our programs, right? So what is try catch? So basically it's a mechanism to catch the error and handle it. Okay. So let's say for example we are filling out an online form, but instead of entering a number, accidentally we type the letters. Okay, so if the website is not prepared for this, so this website might crash, right? So that's where we use try catch, try or except. Catch is not here, it's except. Okay, so basically it allows our code to catch and handle errors instead of stopping abruptly, right? So what is the basic syntax of try except? So we need to write try and then the code which might give us an error, we'll put that under try, and then we will have except block where we have the keyword except and the exception type. Okay, this will handle the error. Okay, so try contains the code that might cause an error and exception defines what to do if an error occurs. Okay, so let's say simple examples. Okay, so earlier also in the last video we have seen it, this exception. Let's say I'm just copying pasting the same code, handling division by 0. Okay, so if we run this, we have seen it. If we run this and we provide integer 0 and we run it, then we will get zero division error. Okay, so we need to handle it because without that our program is getting crashed. Okay, so how we can handle that? So we will use something like 1 second. I'm here just right now. Okay, so here what we are doing, we are putting our code which might give us an exception inside the try block, and then we have our except keyword and then the exception which we want to handle. So here we are trying to handle zero division error, so that's what we have written it here. Now if we run our program and put 0 as an input, okay, we will get an error like enter valid number cannot be 0, right? In the same way, let's say there is another exception, value error. Okay, what is it? So instead of integer, okay, if we put uh, any string, okay, let's say if I put abc here and run it, okay, it will say enter valid number and rest of the program will continue. Okay, so like this we will use try catch here to accept, to basically handle our exceptions. Okay, now the question comes, why we need to use like means specific exceptions to handle it, right? Why not just catch everything, right? So there is an exception class which is the base class for all this. So here also we can write something like this, and if we run abc, our exception is getting handled, right? But why we should not use it, and why we should use the exceptions which we get? Okay, so one is basically it's a good practice to handle the exceptions which you are means which you will get instead of just calling the base class exception, right? So if you are getting here zero division error, you might get, then handle it separately. Here you might get a value error, then handle it separately instead of just calling the exception class which is the base class. Okay, so good practice is just call the individual exception instead of calling the exception. Okay, now what are the common mistake which we might get while handling the exceptions, right? One is calling except without any exception defined, right? So let's say here we are calling the same code here. So instead of value error we just write except, right? So here we might get this print, it is handled, exception is getting handled, okay, but it hides the actual error, right? If you want the actual, this is written by us, this, but if we need exact error, so how we can get it? So we can write something like as e, and then we can print the exact exception here. Now if you see, this is the exceptions which we are getting. If okay, if we try to print the exact exception, so we can write something like except, then exception name as whatever variable you want, it's not fixed, you can write ex also, okay. So this is a good idea to always like log your exceptions whatever we are getting. Instead of if we write only except, then there is no way that we will get this exception, okay. So we will get only this one. Maybe someone if write something like this, okay, and if run the program, you will never get to know what is going in here, right? So that's why it's a good practice to always put exception class, whatever exceptions you might get, okay. So a specific error basically we should handle, right? So this is one thing. So always try to use exceptions specific to your code. Now in the same code, okay, in this, we can handle this exceptions also like this. So now if you see in this code, we might get two types of exceptions. One is division by zero, another is value error, like if a user put a string instead of a number. So we can handle multiple exceptions like this also. So we will learn more about multiple exceptions in the next lecture. So now if we run here and if we type 0, then we will get number exception, like division by 0 exception, okay. If we run it again and put some string number, then we will get invalid literal for integer with base 10. So basically we need to enter a integer instead of a string. So I hope this is clear to you all, like how we can use try except in our handling. So key takeaway is basically try except helps to prevent crash by handling errors. It always catch specific errors like zero division or value error. That is the best practice. And avoid using only except like this, because in this case we will, it's very difficult to debug our code, like we don't know what is going on within this exception, right? Okay, so in the next video we will explore more about handling multiple exceptions in a single block. So stay tuned, and if you like this video, uh, please subscribe to my channel and put in the comment box if you have any further question on this. Thank you.